There it goes. Okay. Okay, like I said, I had watched this Periscope that Chris McCall did. This has been several weeks or a month ago probably that I watched it, but he asked a bunch of jewels what do they wish they had done different if they had gone back, like if they could go back now and start over from the beginning, what would they do different? And so this is just a list. I've got several, so I'm just going to break it up into 2 parts. We'll do the others on another call. But like I said, these are just jewels that he asked, so not necessarily just diamonds. And a lot of these are, you'll see a lot of like repeatedness and stuff like that on here. So believe in yourself, not waited to work the business. Jennifer, you did.
You froze up. I didn't hear what you said.
Oh, I said not waited to work the business like you did.
Wow, yeah.
Stepped out of my comfort zone way sooner. Followed up with my list, customers and stuff, and ambassadors from day one, which I think is key. And that's one thing that I've been working on here this past week is keeping in touch with my level ones. Not necessarily their business, but as far as how they're doing like with their products and stuff as well. So, because I think that's a key thing. Started posting immediately, reached out immediately, never doubted the journey. That's, we talk a lot about confidence and belief and stuff. That's a big one. Just remember, God's got this. That was one of my favorite ones. There will be hills and valleys, but my faith will always carry me through. That's another one of my favorites too. Let's start that one. Wouldn't have stopped sharing 3 months in when my friends and family were not successful with the product due to my bad follow-up and support. That's, we talk about consistency with our products and follow-up and everything, and that's a big one as well, to keep sharing and posting and stuff like that, be consistent. Would have started conference calls early in my journey. Of course, conference calls, that was before we had Zoom, so now we can do Zoom. Funner. People need to hear the excitement in your voice. That's people potentials, your customers when you're following up with them, as well as your team. Always show excitement, always show enthusiasm, stuff like that. Be upbeat. Would have shared from day one instead of many, many, many months later. Had self-confidence and believing in myself. 3-way training and 3-way prospecting calls to change my business. I know Jennifer and Leslie have been, not Jennifer, Jennifer, you might have too, but Rachel and Leslie have been talking a lot lately about 3-way calling, like with your uplines or even sidelines or anything like that. I think that's huge. That's something I've never personally done. That's just a personal thing of mine. I was in another MLM, Mary Kay, actually, and we had to do the parties and stuff all the time, and give me your list of 3 friends so I can get them on the party and stuff. And so that whole 3-way calling is a thing that I haven't ventured into yet, but that's a personal thing that I need to get over. So would have implemented a simple, duplicatable system for my business from the get-go. And that's part of the reason that we're doing these training calls and stuff like what we're doing now for you guys, so that we can teach you what we were taught from Rachel, and Rachel was taught from Leslie, and so on and so on and so on, because it works. We always say, why fix it if it ain't broke? It works. So we don't need to change it. We don't need to reinvent the wheel, as they say. So wouldn't have waited 3 months to go public. That was one that somebody else has said earlier. And wouldn't have babied people. A few weeks ago we talked about, I think Jen talked about this, wanting it more for your downline or for your potentials than they wanted themselves. Like, you can't do the work for them. You can only give them the tools and the training that they need, but they're the ones that have to have the passion for it and put the work into it, because otherwise you're just going to exhaust yourself. So I'm going to stop there. Otherwise I could just go through the whole list, but they're all just short little tidbits like that, but we'll finish the rest on another call some other time.
That's it. God, mine's longer than that. Okay, I'll get started right away.
I was trying to do quick.
I know how you did. I was expecting you to go longer than that. That's good though, because I can't be quick for the life of me. Hold on. Don't laugh at me, whoever that was. No, I'm
Lori.
Lori. I'm not laughing with you. I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing with you.
I'm totally kidding. You can laugh at me. Okay, we're going to talk about
See, this is why I went fast, because I knew you'd have a lot
I
of
know, right?
them.
Well, I write down everything I want to say because I want to try to stick to it. Otherwise, I just ramble. God knows, I'll be talking about God knows what. Staying humble and staying hungry and back to the basics. And if you're like just starting out, it might be hard to relate to, but this would be good notes to refer back to, or it'll be there in the back of your mind. So the first thing is that people quit, and these notes came to me as I was talking to one of my downlines, because she has 2 customers that are quitting, and then her one ambassador that she thought was really going to work the business was saying that she was really bloated after Thanksgiving, and she just didn't know if Plexus was just being really negative. So I sent her like 10 minutes worth of messages, and then I was like, you know what, this is really good info. I should share it on a call. So first things first, people quit, and they always will. So one thing you have to do is you have to think about how you perceive Plexus now versus how you perceived it when you first started. And then you need to put yourself in their shoes and think about how they're perceiving it. You can't expect them to see the vision or to love the products the way you do. And you have to be very, very respectful of the fact that it may not mean as much to them as it means to you. So you have to put yourself in their shoes. Working this business, it's a journey about learning who will come, who will stay, who will run with you, and who will return. It's all about their timing. I used to think that when people kind of fell off, they fell off for good, but I've had a couple people come back and even want to work the business and stuff. So when you do it long enough, that's another good reason why you never want to burn any bridges. People will quit. Sometimes they'll realize that they actually did feel better on the products, or sometimes they'll see that you're doing really good and they're like, well, I could do that too. So then they come back and want to work the business. So you just have to realize that wherever they're at that like point in their life, Plexus may not be what you think it's going to be for them, even if they had great results with the products. So you just have to kind of respect that and keep doors open. Belief comes from within. It can be encouraged and sculpted by outside forces, but ultimately, if they don't believe in themselves or Plexus, no amount of willpower from you is ever going to change that. So you just have to remember that. It helps for you to encourage them and believe in them, and sometimes people need to see your belief, and then their belief will build. But ultimately, if they don't have that belief, or they are very negative, it's going to be a struggle, and you can't let that struggle get into your little happy Plexus bubble, basically. So you kind of have to be very observative. Is that the word I'm looking for? I'm going to quit trying to use big words. Okay. Objective. You have to be objective. That's what I was looking for. Hold on. I just lost my You guys know I'm a hot mess. Setting customers and ambassadors up with the tools that they need. And I've struggled with this a lot too. But setting them training emails, getting them on the team pages and really, really letting them know this is where you can find this. This is how we do this. This is how we do that. Really, really being there for them, and setting very realistic expectations of how the products work, how slow it may be, good follow-up and all that stuff. All that will lessen the likelihood of them quitting. It still will not stop them from quitting altogether, but it will lessen the likelihood of it. I can't tell you how many times in the beginning, before I knew how important follow-up was, people were, oh, wow, I quit taking it. And all they needed was a little bit of encouragement and a little bit of troubleshooting. So you have to follow up with them. Even if you don't know what you might say to them with what problem they have, you can figure it out for them, or you can ask your upline. One thing people usually want to quit for, they say, I don't feel like it's working for me. So when this happens, and this is kind of ballsy, but I've done it a couple times and it's really worked. Encourage them to quit taking the products, all their products, for 1 week, and then come back to you and tell you how they feel. Most will realize it actually was working. You only want to do this once you've troubleshot with them. Be sure that it isn't other medications, their regimen, or minor things that may be hindering them. Consistency and water intake are the top 2 reasons for this complaint. And also the top 2 things people hate to admit to you that they're not doing right. So you really got to drill it in their head. And sometimes I've even come down to the point where I'm like, well, you're only drinking 4 bottles of water a day, so it's not going to work for you. Sometimes you have to know when to be kind of blunt and when to be really encouraging and, kind of sugarcoat it. So you'll learn that with each person, it's different too. Asking the right questions gets to the bottom of this. Sometimes you have to say, tell me what's going on in your life, work, home, stress, sleep, mood, monthly cycle, that kind of thing. I had an ambassador. I looked at my reports and she had turned her backup order off. And I was like, hey, I saw your backup orders off. What's going on? Because 2 months ago, she told me I took it in July, and August and September I felt miserable. So she started again in October, and she was going to be a runner. I sent her all the tools she needed. She started sharing for about a week, and then she just fell off the face of the earth. Well, I took it as, and that's another thing you can never just assume, but I gave her space. I wasn't going to hound her. And I just figured that it was too much too soon for her and that she would start coming around and sharing more. And I was encouraging her, adding her to things, and I just wasn't getting anywhere. So finally I said, hey, now your backup order's off. What's going on with you? And she told me that the first month she took it, she lost 20 pounds and she felt amazing. And then this month, now that she's been on it for 2 months, she feels like it's not working for her. And I had to talk to her through messages for probably an hour, but I finally got to the root of it. And she's working 50-hour work weeks. She has a new job title because 3 people quit. It's wintertime. She's less active. So her stress level's up. She's not sleeping as well. She's not eating right. She's working longer hours and she's less active. Right there is why it's not working for her this time. And I even had to ask her, what's different in your life now versus the first time you took it? And then she was like, and she's only taking 2 probiotics. 4 is the killing dose for Candida. So you really have to troubleshoot with people and you have to put in the time. And I think that one's really going to pay off for me. Sometimes you'll put in that much effort and they'll still quit anyway, but it's worth it if they're going to stick it out. So I wanted to share that story with you. Sometimes you really got to get them to open up to you, and then you'll be able to see, from your objective point of view, what is really what the problem really is, because people are so quick to blame the plexus. So this is a quote that I really liked. You guys are going to think I'm super nerdy, but I was YouTubing Maya Angelou the other day and watching all these videos of her. I never knew she was like such an amazing, inspiring woman. I know I kind of suck for not knowing that, but she had this quote, "Don't pick it up, don't lay it down." And when she explained, and she kind of explained it as like, because she's been a public figure and you can't really care about what people are saying about you. But I attributed it obviously to plexus right away. So her quote is, "Don't pick it up, don't lay it down." She says, "I don't pick that up, I don't lay that down, because if I were to pick one up," speaking about the compliment, "then I would have to pick up the other," speaking about the reproach or something negative, "and I still have my work to do." What she is saying, you cannot let anyone else's, sorry, I screenshotted this. You cannot let anyone else's words affect your work in either direction. You have to know your work is what you want it to be, that it achieves your goals and meets your expectations. That is what matters. Everything else is just noise. So we get so wrapped up in helping other people and caring about what they have to say and wanting Plexus to work for them and wanting our friends to be our runners and all that kind of stuff. And you really have to remember what you're going for. And then you just have to trust that God or the universe, whatever you believe in, is going to bring those people to you that are going to grow your business. And you cannot pick it up every time someone says, "I love you, you're amazing, Plexus is working for me, everything's great." Because if you pick that up and carry it with you, then you also have to pick up every quitter. You have to carry around every person that's negative. You have to carry around every person that won't drink their water and wants to complain to you every week. So you want to work with people, and you really do have to care and have empathy, but you cannot let that you can't let that get into your core, get into your business that you're running. You're running a business. So you have positivity that you have to upkeep, all that kind of stuff. You have a team that you have to lead. You have customers that you have to help. You have potentials that are wishing for Plexus but aren't ready to pull the trigger, and they need you to follow up with them. So you cannot pick up everything. And when it's going really good, that's great, but don't pick it up and carry it with you, because then you have to pick up all the bad stuff too. So you kind of just have to let that be what it's going to be. So I know that you wouldn't think a Maya Angelou quote would really go along with Plexus, but I totally just related to it. So I wanted to share that with you guys. I also want to talk about the fact that this is like a horse race. You must keep your blinders on. And that's not just coming from me. I heard this in a call from Celeste and Roz, and they are two of our diamond uplines. I don't know if you guys know this, but you are on the most successful team in Plexus. Celeste is your upline. I'm her level 7, so if you're under me, you'd be her level 8. Jessica's her level 7. So you are on the most successful team. She's hit diamond and then re-entered under herself and hit diamond again. So basically, she knows what works. And she said in that training call, and Roz said also, Roz is Celeste level 1, you must keep your blinders on. And just like horses, if they can see the horses beside them, or if they can get sidetracked looking at other things, they will never finish the race. If you slow down for every negative customer or every runner, quote unquote, who won't show up and put the work in, you will never reach the finish line. You have to stick with those who are matching your pace and just keep moving. And that's really hard because sometimes you think somebody's going to be a runner and then they just won't run. They won't build a team. They won't do things. And so then you have to kind of bless and release them, and it sucks. But you have these other people that need you and want to run, and you need to pour into them. If you slow down for every negative customer, every runner who won't show up and put the work in, you will never reach the finish line. Stick with those who are matching your pace and just keep moving. If anybody's a runner, they'll probably relate to that. You need to love on all your team, encourage them, and help them often, but do not let a downline who won't run at your pace hold you back. And that's really hard as you guys go gold and you get people below you and you're trying to help everybody and trying to figure out who needs you and who needs training here and who needs basic training. And it's really, really confusing. But what I've learned is that the runners will come to you. They'll have questions. They'll get on the team calls. They'll be active. They'll be duplicating what you're doing. They'll be adding at least one person a month, 1 or 2 people a month. So you'll know who your runners are, and that's who you need to focus on. Can't make somebody want to do this. You need to be wary of negative customers. They will try to slow your pace. You have to be very intentional with your time spent with them. This is something I had to learn too, because I've spent a lot of time with like level 2s. Someone says, hey, so be level 2 or level 3. I'm having trouble with this person. Will you help me? And I spend so much time with them, almost too much time. And that's time that I could have spent somewhere else. So it's almost not to say to be cold or rude or say, I don't have time for you, but you just have to be very intentional. You'll know who really wants to troubleshoot and make it work and who's just complaining and probably going to quit. You have to follow your gut with that. Seriously, you guys, you have to follow your gut with that, and do not let the negative people suck the life out of you so that you have nothing left to give to the ones who really need you. Too much energy kicking a dead horse is energy you could have spent on a potential who wants this more, or a downline who needs a little bit of help. So be very intentional with your time and where you focus it. Not everyone will want to be a runner. Not every runner will want to run. You need to learn to let go of them. Let it be, and pour into those who are actively, already said all that anyway. Back to the basics. Back to the basics is important, and it was hard for me at first because once you guys go gold and you have a team underneath you and you feel like you need to train constantly, you can get really caught up in that and you can stop doing the stuff you were doing to try to go gold, and that will stop the growth of your business. It's crucial you go back to the basics. Don't get caught up in current customers, negative quitters, or the ones that aren't quitting. Do not get caught up in only training your runners. You have to balance it evenly and still be doing 5-3-1 and all of the basics that you were taught from day one. Why is back to the basics important? Because people quit. So this kind of ties into the earlier notes. And there are runners out there that you don't even know about yet. I didn't join Rachel's team until she had been sharing Plexus for like 10 or 11 months. And now I'm one of her top runners. So there are people out there who will be your best ambassador. And if you're not still adding, you're never going to get them. If you don't tell somebody about Plexus, someone else will. It happens all the time. I've heard my uplines talk about it. And I've seen it myself, even on my own team in my little area of Ohio. Someone said, hey, somebody was trying to steal me from Plexus for you, something about the probiotic. And I said, oh, who? And they said, oh, so-and-so. And I said, oh, she's on my team anyway. That's okay. And that actually made me feel happy, because that meant they saw someone's post and they reached out to them and cold messaged them. This person still hasn't even ordered off me, but that's besides the point. And then I had somebody else tell me today, I had a random message from somebody wanting me to buy Plexus today. And this is one of my good friends. And she's already taking it from me. And I said, oh, who? And she said, oh, some girl I used to work with at an old nursing home. And I didn't know the girl from Adam, so she must be on someone else's team. And I was like, whoa, this is my territory. No, I'm just kidding. But it kind of reminds you, like if you aren't telling people, you're not, usually people, when they do decide to pull the trigger and join Plexus, they'll do it with the person who first approached them, or the person who followed up with them every time there was a special. The person who always was like, hey, I really care about you. I saw your post. You're still having migraines. You ready to try this Plexus with me yet? I'm just, I just want to let you know I care. The people that are following up every month for the last 6 months, they're going to go with that person, not the person who just told them about it last month. So you just have to, if you really want to work this business, you just have to start talking. You have to start telling people, because I guarantee you a year from now, people that that could have been on your team will be taking Plexus from someone else. Plexus is going to be a household name before long. We're just having that much growth. Back to the basics ensures that you will have a wide team, and that those who truly want to do this with you will surface and run with you. Do not rely on a small handful of people to help get you to the top. Rachel Neagle said that she did this. I mean, she got to Emerald really fast in 7 months, but then she didn't have a very wide team. She worked on building it deep, and one of her legs kind of fell off. Someone quit working the business, and then some people under them, and she lost a lot of points. So she stalled at Emerald. I mean, who really cares at Emerald, right? But she stalled at Emerald, she said, for a really long time. I forget how many months. And she told me before that her best piece of advice is to keep adding new level ones and keep waiting for those runners to emerge and say they want to do it with you. The wider your team is, the more options you have for teams to grow deep naturally. Train and teach duplication no matter what rank you reach. Even if you're just silver, if you have one person, train them. You can go diamond with just silvers underneath you. I did not know that until I watched Rachel Rogers' most recent our upline, Rachel, her most recent Periscope. I did not know you could go diamond with just silvers. And then I thought about it and I was like, wow, you can. That's another reason why you're on a team you're on a network marketing. You're in a network marketing company that sets you up for success, because a lot of other ones you could never reach the top of the company unless you have people below you that are growing and growing and growing. You can become a diamond ambassador with just all silvers. So I think that's really cool. If you can train half your people to add 3 people, you could really grow. One way to make this make sense to you, Rachel Rogers went senior Ruby right before convention last year, and she only had 3 people that were gold underneath her, and maybe a couple silvers. And that, if you're just now starting the business, that can still sound like a lot. But if you're at my level, Jessica's level, Kristen's level, that's not that many. That's not that much. Like I could see myself having 3 people gold underneath me. So I'm starting to reach the point 9 months later, I'm seeing myself being senior Ruby or Emerald. And it's really fun when you can see your team actually growing like that. So you have to just start training people no matter what level you're at. The depth will happen naturally. I already talked about that. All teams grow differently, so don't freak out about it, but you're still probably going to anyway. When your team begins to lose, I say that because I constantly compare myself to other people, and Jessica has a very deep team and I don't. And so I'm constantly like, what am I doing wrong? Why won't people add people underneath me? When your team begins to lose momentum and customers want to quit and you wonder what's going on, just remember that this is a roller coaster. Remember to stay humble and stay hungry, just as humble and as hungry as you were when you were trying to go gold or silver, or when the first time you wanted to hit 500 PV. You need to always stay that hungry. That's how you're going to grow your business. Staying humble and hungry will keep you focused, and it will keep you adding new people and being truly thankful for those who stick with you, like alongside you. Because I've been doing this 9 months and I've had so many people quit on me, but yet I'm still constantly promoting up. So that's why you have to go back to the basics, and you have to stay hungry and keep adding people. And it really does make you very, very appreciative for those who stick with it and don't quit. And going back to the basics, staying humble and hungry is how diamonds are made. And that's the end of my notes. So I talked for what, 20 minutes? That's not bad. Hold on, I'll stop my screen.
That was fast. You did good.
I was talking fast, man. I was like, come on.
No, I was gonna tell you guys, I'm gold myself. I'm almost senior gold, but I have 2 golds underneath me. Then I have one more that she'll probably within the next month or 2 go gold. So I'll have 3.
And I only have 1 gold. And
yeah,
I'm senior gold. So
it's crazy to think that, because I'm sitting here going, oh no, I have 2 golds on my team. I don't want to be outranked.
that's healthy competition for you.
It's horrible. Me and Ashley joke around all the time because she went silver not long after I did, probably about a month and a half or 2 months after I did. And then I went gold, and then probably 2 months later she went gold. So we always joke that it's going to be a race who's going to get there first. So
that's what's great. That's what's great about this company, though, is you can outrank your upline. Most places.
I know, but I don't want to be outranked by my team.
I know. I'm sorry. I'm kidding. It's terrible. It's a terrible rule.
Can't let it happen. It's horrible. But, that's something, like you said, staying hungry. I mean, it's keeping me going, because I don't want my level 2 to outrank me. My level 1, I think I'll be okay with that, but not my level 2. I cannot be outranked by my level 2. So, anyways, that call was really short. Really short. That was really fast. We did good. Do you guys have any questions on any of that? Let me unmute everybody real fast. Okay, does anybody have any questions? Kristen, do you have anything you want to add or take away?
No, I think that was really great.
Okay, awesome. And like I said, I have a whole another 15 or 16 of these what would Jules do different, and I messaged Leslie, so as soon as she messages me back, I will add her to my list.
Well, why don't you see if she wants to get on one with us next week? Wouldn't that be, you think she'd do that?
She might jump on for a few minutes. I don't know if she would stay on for the whole thing, but yeah.
Because then everybody can meet her.
Yeah, that would be cool. Actually, you guys, okay, so tonight, Leslie lives in Austin, here in Texas, but she is in town. She's here in Amarillo for the holidays, and she had planned a get together for all of our local team for like Amarillo, Del Hart, Dumas, like all the little surrounding areas and stuff. And we were going to have it tonight, but since we had this like ridiculously retarded snowstorm that we just had, and it's snowing again, by the way, she canceled it. So, but what I was going to do is tonight's call, I was going to do from the party so that y'all could meet some other teammates and meet Rachel and Leslie and stuff like that. So get that on that one, but she's going to reschedule it. So whenever she reschedules it, we'll see if we can't set up a call that night, and then I can do it from Rachel's house again like we planned. So, but if y'all don't have any questions or anything, I don't have anything else. I do, but I'll save it for another time. Jen, do you have anything else you want to throw in?
No, my throat's dry.
But you got a drink.
Can I ask you guys something real quick?
Yes.
Yeah.
So I had one of my customers yesterday reach out to me and tell me that she's going to cancel her order because she's getting migraines. And she was one customer that was very hesitant from the beginning. I had been talking to her for the past maybe 3 months, and she finally, decided to give it a try. And she said her and her husband were going to try it. And so I've been communicating with her since she started, trying to make sure, kind of pamp baby in her a little bit to kind of make sure that she's doing it right. And then also just get feedback and see if she had any questions. And she had told me maybe after the second week that she had experienced like just feeling kind of sick. Mm-hmm. And I told her like, tummy aches, kind of explain to me what's going on. And she's like, I just feel like tired and really drained. And I told her, well, certainly that I know that the BioCleanse, that could be truly detoxifying her inside, because she was one that was on multiple antibiotics, has been trying to lose weight for the past maybe 4 years and hadn't been able to. So I know that, she might have really had some overgrowth yeast built up. So being that I've been trying to troubleshoot with her, and then she all of a sudden yesterday told me, I'm canceling my order, just wanted to let you know, how do I go in to cancel it? I kind of was in between, like not really sure how to, should I try to troubleshoot with her a little more? I mean, of course I would like to, but I kind of felt like it was not her coming at me to ask me, hey, this is what I'm experiencing. It was more like, I need to cancel it. So I
Okay.
just wanted advice.
First off, how long has she been on the product?
Not long at all. I mean, just this month. She ordered it in November and she started it the 1st of December. So like I would also tell her, remember, all of this is going to take time. Don't think that, it's an overnight thing. Things that, we're encouraged to tell our customers, I made sure to tell her, because she was definitely one that was, oh my God, I can't wait to get on this because I want to lose this weight so quick. And I'm glad you're excited